Good morning, evening, afternoon, whatever it is when you're watching this. This is Mr. Goldman, and this is the Chapter 6 assessment video here with second period. Say hi, everybody. Okay. Number 1 says solve the problem below with the 5D process or by writing and solving an equation. In either case, make sure you define your variable. The perimeter of a triangle is 44 inches. The length of one side is twice the length of the shortest side. The length of the other side is 8 inches longer than the length of the shortest side. The question is, what are the lengths of all three sides? That's the question I want to make sure I answer. I'm going to draw a picture here of a triangle. I'm going to say S equals shortest side. That means this side is twice the length of S, so 2S. And the third side is 8 inches longer than the length of the shortest side. This is where most of you made the mistake. This is S plus 8, not 2S plus 8. So I'm going to set this up as an equation. You could set it up as a 5D process. But I know that the perimeter equals S plus 2S plus S plus 8. Right? I just add up all three sides for perimeter, and I know that that equals 44. So this is my equation. S plus 2S plus S plus 8 equals 44. S plus 2S plus S, I'm going to combine like terms. That gives me 4S plus 8 equals 44. Now I'm going to subtract 8 from both sides. That goes to 0. I have 4S equals 36. Divide by the coefficient of 4 gives me S equals 9. Now, this is not my answer. My question is, what are the lengths of all three sides? So I'm going to write just to declare. The length of the shortest side is 9 inches. The second side is 18 inches, right? Because I have 2 times S. And the third side is 17 inches. Because if this is 9, 2 times 9 equals 18, and 9 plus 8 equals 17. All right, so there's my answer. You could have done this with the 5D process. You're defined. You should have started with S. So like my first would have been S and then 2 times S, just like this, 18. And then my do would have been add them all up. And then the decide is, does it equal 44? The declare is the important part. You must answer the question that's being asked. All right, number 2. A mystery spinner is 50% red and white, while the rest is blue and green. So that means that half of the spinner is blue and green. If 1/6 of the spinner is green, so if I just do a little drawing, this is red and white. 1/6 spinner is green. So 1/6 is about like this, right? I know 3/6 is blue and green because 3/6 equals half, right? 50% equals 3/6. So if I can cut this up into 1/6, right? These are all 3 equal parts. Each is 1/6, 1/6, 1/6. And these combined are blue and green. But if 1/6 is green, so we'll say this is green, that means that these 2/6 are blue, right? So we could say 3/6 is blue and green, 1/6 is green, so plus 2/6 has to be blue, right? So spinner is 2/6 or 1/3 blue. Most of you did pretty well on this. A couple of you said it was 5/6 blue, but that's if You forgot about this whole half. All right, problem 3. Represent the solution for the variable described below as an inequality on a number line graph and with symbols. In order to enroll kids on campus, in order to enroll in the Kids on Campus program at the local community college, the student must be at least 8 years old but younger than 18. So first I'm going to do this with a number line. My boundary points are 8 and 18, right? That's what's important. We'll put 0 over here. We'll just put like 10 in here because I like the number 10. It's easy. If you're 8 years old, at least 8, so that means you can be 8 years old and be in the camp. So I'm going to fill that circle in because 8 is in my solution. But you have to be younger than 18. So 18-year-olds are not allowed. So I'm going to open circle that protects 18. And then I'm going to connect these. Because remember, a 10-year-old could go to the camp, right? I just want a nice number that I can plug in to make sure I'm doing this right. So 10 years old, in. So that's the way that line covers 10. Now I need to write an inequality with symbols. Well, we'll say this is X. X is the age of the campers. X has to be greater than or equal to 8. And X has to be less than 18. So that's one way to do this. You can split it up into 2 different inequalities. Or we can write it as one equality. Remember, we can read these from left to right or right to left. So if I want to start with the lowest value, 8 is less than or equal to X, which is less than 18. And I can practice by putting 10 in. Does 10 work? Is 8 less than 10? Yes. Is 10 less than 18? Good. So this is my inequality with symbols and the number and the line, the number graph, number line. Number 4, the diagram below represents a sequence for an acrobat on a tightrope. The variable represents the unknown length of a trick. Write and solve an equation to figure out how far the acrobat travels during each trick and show how you know your answer is correct. So the key here, write and solve an equation. So my equation would be something like x plus 2 plus x plus 2 plus x plus 2 equals 36. I can combine like terms and get 3x plus 6 equals 36. Subtract 6 from both sides, 0 pair. 3x equals 30. Divide by the coefficient and get x equals 10. How do I know that that works? Well, plug it in. 10 plus 2 plus 10 plus 2 plus 10 plus 2 equals 36. We got 12 plus 12 plus 12 equals 36. 36 equals 36. There we go. Number 5, Rolf solved a similar problem, but not the same to problem 7 below. His equation was 5 times the quantity x minus 4 plus 2x equals 14. When he solved, he got x equals 5, but he isn't sure he solved correctly. Show Rolf how he can check his equation using his solution. So don't solve, use his solution. So I'm going to write the original 5x minus 4 plus 2x equals 14, and then I'm going to plug in right below it 5 for x. Oh, and I missed. There we go. Minus 4. Woohoo! Parentheses first. 5 times 5 minus 4 is 1. Plus 10 equals 14. 5 times 1 is 5. Plus 10. So I got 15 does not equal 14. Rolf was incorrect. Because when you plug 5 in for x, the equation is not balanced. Okay, some sort of explanation. You needed to show this and then explain why that means he's wrong. Number 6, write an expression to represent Royce's weight if she is 3 pounds more than twice Ted's weight. Well, Royce equals 2 times t plus 3. 3 more than twice Ted's weight. That's the first part. Now, if Ted weighs 30 pounds, how much does Royce weigh? Well, we have to plug that in. 2 times 30 plus 3. Royce equals 60 plus 3, which equals 63. Royce weighs 63 pounds. So you needed all 3 of these steps. First the expression in general, then showing that you're plugging in 30 for t, and then the answer of 63. Last one, you guys did pretty good on this. I was pretty happy. Just solve for x. So the first step is distributive property. 2 times 5x is 10x minus 2 equals 6 plus 2x. I'm going to move my x's over. I can't combine like terms, so I'm going to move the smaller x. That becomes a 0 pair. 10x minus 2x is 8x minus 2 equals 6. I'm going to add 2 to both sides. 0 pair. 8x equals 8. I'm going to divide by the coefficient, which is 8. 8 divided by 8 is 1. 1 times x is x. And 8 divided by 8 is 1. So x equals 1. I recommend you also should have checked your answer here if you had time. Second one, there's no distributive property, no combining like terms. So the first thing I'm going to do is move x's over. What I saw, a very common mistake, so I'm going to do it this way, is if you subtract 6x from both sides, you get 0. 0 equals 3x minus 18. A lot of you got stumped when there was just a 0 on one side. I still want to do the same thing. I want to keep the x's on one side, move the constants to the other. My constant is this minus 18, so I'm going to add 18 to both sides. That becomes 0. So now I have 18 equals 3x. Now I'm going to divide by the coefficient. That becomes 1 times x. And 18 divided by 3 is 6. So 6 equals x. You could have done this alternately. I'll do it real quick. 6x equals 9x minus 18. If you subtract 9x from both sides, that goes to 0, and you have negative 3x equals negative 18. Now, you divide by the coefficient. The coefficient in this case is negative 3. So we're going to divide by negative 3, which gives me x equals negative 18 divided by negative 3 is positive 6. So there's the 2 main ways to solve that problem. Thank you for your time. It's been a pleasure. Make sure to do test corrections and get ready for the retest if necessary. Goodbye, everybody. And the adoring crowd is very excited.